Hello friends, welcome to Crafternoon. My name is Miss Mary and I'm a children's librarian at the Wando Mt Pleasant Library. Today's craft is yarn pom-poms. This is just a simple, really easy to make ball of yarn. It can be decorative or just for fun. And if you have some more time and materials and you want to get creative with it, you can make faces or turn them into really anything you can think of. So let's get started. The only supplies you need to make your basic pom-pom are a good pair of scissors and any kind of yarn. So to get started, you're going to cut off a piece of yarn about 8 to 10 inches. Set that and set it aside. Step 2 is wrapping your yarn, and you need something to wrap it around. I just like to use 3 fingers, and I make sure to spread them really wide, especially at the beginning, so that I don't cut off my circulation and the yarn comes off easily when I squeeze them together. If you're worried about your circulation, you can use a piece of cardboard, about 2 inches by 3 or 4 inches, just good stiff cardboard. Just keep in mind sometimes it's hard to slide the yarn off the cardboard. If you want something tiny, you could even use a fork. So we are going to wrap this around our fingers. Keep it loose, keep your fingers loose, and wrap it almost 100 times, anywhere from 80 to 100. We want it nice and fluffy, so let's do it. So this is what mine looks like after wrapping about 90 times. As you can see, I can still wiggle my fingers and it is really thick on there. If you don't wrap it enough times, your pom-pom's going to be a little bit flat and lifeless. If you wrap it too much, it's hard to do too much, but I've seen it. It'll just kind of fall apart and it'll be really hard to tie together. So once you're happy with the shape, just cut it off and carefully slide it off your fingers. Now you can see how it's all together like this. We're going to take the piece of yarn that we cut earlier and lay it down the middle. Make sure it's going this way so that your loops are on either end. And take your yarn and tie it. Tie the tightest knot you've ever tied in your life. Tie like your life depends on it. I like to press it down in the middle while I'm doing a double knot. And if I'm worried that's not tight enough, I can take those 2 ends and go back around the back and tie it one more time. So I didn't get mine perfectly in the middle. That's okay. It's better if it's in the middle, but it's fine. And as you can see, my yarn is kind of fluffing up already so that it's hard to even tell where the middle is. That's great. That shows that we wrapped it enough times. Now the next step is to take your sharp scissors, slip them into these loops, and cut. Just cut every single loop you see, except for obviously the one you tied in the middle. If you accidentally cut that one, it's all going to fall apart and you'll just have to start again. Alright, so I think I've cut all the loops I want to cut. I've got a very shaggy, fluffy pom-pom right now, and if you just want a wild little pom-pom, you can stop right here. But what I'm going to do is give it a haircut. And I'm just going to cut in small sections, not big ones so you don't end up with flat spots, until I feel like all the fluff looks about even. And if you cut it really short, you'll have a very neat, cute little pom-pom. If you leave it longer, it'll be a little bit shaggier and looser. Alright, so I am pretty happy with that. Here's my little guy. And that's all there is to it for the basic pom-pom. So if you want to have a little bit more fun with your pom-poms, you're just going to need some craft glue and then any supplies in your house. You might have some felt or some stiff paper or some googly eyes, beads, other colors of yarn, whatever you want to do is great. So I have my little dragon here. I've given him some horns and a tail. Another really simple thing to do is to cut some triangles. These make great ears. So I hope you have fun filling your house with pom-poms.